I put my friends in that old Benz and took that to the coast. It ain't
Come
no
on.
thing to do my thing, it's what I do the best.
Hey.
I fill my mattress, pay my taxes, then I blew the rest. And it's okay to do your thing, but just don't do the least.
All right.
I quit my boss and cooked that sauce and fed that to the streets. Sliding in like a wet flow, already fried from the get-go. Alligators look like gecko. Everything I do, they echo.
Come on.
Fast, my bank on big man. My drip too wet, that's big.
God did that.
That's Will.
Let me tell y'all something, man. It's only one conglomerate that can bring y'all together like this. You know what I mean? It's only one group of people that can bring this much unity to Cowboy Nation. It's gonna be some people from all walks of life here, and that could only be accomplished with this set of 5 people here in front of you today. You feel me? See, whether you go to Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, Target, or the table store, you will find many tables. You will find periodic tables.
Them
shits may be rhombus. Them shits may be spherical. Them shits may be triangular, but ladies and gentlemen, it's only one the round. You know what I'm saying? It's only one. And what we love the most, right? Let me take my glasses off. Not you. I'm not taking them off yet. What we love the most, right, is that there has never, in the history of round tabledom, have we put together a round table and y'all didn't come out. That's never happened.
He ain't lying.
I can't even fathom it. So we appreciate y'all for coming through, showing love to us on this lovely bye-week Friday, on this lovely Cowboy W week, because when you the Cowboys, you win all week. You feel me? I have a lovely panel here. You know everybody on this panel. If you don't, you should. You know what I mean? But we just a quick intros that we're gonna get into. Ripping each other to shreds. All right. So we got right here below, we got Fusty King from Cowboy Nation TV. Okay. Next to him, you got Will Skywalker Steele. Oh, I got one. What does he do?
Pass it to Will.
Hey, where my drop at, man?
His drop's crazy though. His drop game crazy.
I don't like that, Okoye.
Right, we're out doing that. Everybody got special shit.
Oh, go ahead.
I got the samurai headband and shit.
Yeah.
I need an accessory. I'm about to go put a jersey on.
I got the drops for y'all. Go ahead, man. Who's next?
Right over. Okay, so since Will got dropped, so we got Foots.
Oh, you want? Okay, I was going for the next person.
You got drops. Never mind. We moving on.
We got a Koye. Here go Koye.
Hey, listen. Give me a sleepy drop. Give me a sleepy
I was
drop.
about to say that though. Give me some Z's and some shit.
Okoye Media, AKOYE Media. That's my guy there. And then I got my OG. My OG. There are plenty old heads, but I got
everybody on here. OG.
I got one. That's this one right here from the same hometown. That's Law Nation right there. And
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Go around.
Hey,
Give myself a heart attack over here. Let's go.
Man.
He is the that's big bro. But listen, man, like the round table, man, this ain't just a collective of co-workers. Like, these are my friends for real. I asked him today, what's your birthday, man? So I can just be aware and just show some love whenever they, you know what I'm saying, their name day shows up. That's real life. We got a whole group chat yesterday when the Eagles almost did that thing with the Texas. We just in the chat box, game planning, man. These are my peoples for real. So of course the round table is going to be the best thing in the business, because we got a real life rapport. All right, now let's get to these arguments, man.
I can't wait, man.
Let's get to these arguments, man. I got some stuff written down, and it's almost like a tradition at this point that I asked Koye about Joe Thomas and Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith. We ain't got to necessarily get into that.
Why they get assigned to me though? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm on everybody's ass good.
They want us to argue, Okoye.
That is very true. That is very fair. Okoye is on everybody's ass.
Yeah. So,
you got that Joe Thomas jersey? Go get that Joe Thomas jersey, man.
48. But what I do want to do, we're not going to argue Joe Thomas, versus Van Der Esch this time. I think Van Der Esch has been relatively okay, but I do want to go around the panel. And I just kind of want to ask y'all now what's been going on week 1 through 8, and most of this conversation is going to be what's going on week 1 through 8, and then projecting, right? Just the linebacker situation. Now, if you want to say, oh, well, Vach, I think the linebacker situation is cool. We don't need to change a thing. If you want to say, boy, I can't wait till Anthony Barr heals up his hamstring so he can get back in there. If you want to say Damone Clark on the way back and Anthony Barr probably played his last game as a Cowboy, whatever you want to say. If you want to say Van Der Esch is cool, if you want to say Brillo needs some more love, say whatever it is you want to say. Fuster King, what you think about our linebacker situation there?
We got our group chat. I'm going to jump right in. I think that either you need to put Micah back in the middle at times, or Damone Clark needs to probably be on the field more. I love Anthony Barr. He's king, slightly slow. And LVE is playing good reps, but I think to really clean this run game defense up, and now Okoye just gave me the look. And I'm not going to eat up all the time.
I thought you was going somewhere with LVE. I was about to say.
Hey, look. You know
I
I'm
ain't
watching.
that drunk, motherfucker.
But the crazy thing is, LVE will play good in spots, and then he'll look slow.
Yeah.
Like it's like everybody else on the defense looks fast, and it's like you just see Leighton, but they trust him. So that's me.
Yeah.
Law Nation.
All right. Defense, y'all know, man. I look at Parsons. I agree with you, Foots. Put him inside the middle. I think on certain downs in certain situations. Parsons is that guy that need to be everywhere. I think that Anthony Barr was that bridge for Damone Clark, and he just crossed that bridge last game. So you don't need to bring back Anthony Barr. Let Damone Clark, he had 7 tackles, 2 solos, a near sack. Let that kid continue to grow, Cowboy Nation. And the weakest link of all is LVE. The only time we are seeing him shine is because they gave a little help to the front. But I'm telling you guys, if we would have went out there and got Roquan, baby, this defense would have been on a whole different level. But for right now, he is the Band-Aid to the wound on the linebacker core, and that is LVE. It's not something that will really be sustainable to stop the bleeding down the line. Just take my word for it. I know LVE analysis is going to be broken down by Okoye in a few.
So listen, let me ask you this. So in real life, we all know next year the linebacker core is going to look like Parsons,
right?
Clark, Cox, most likely. You know what I mean? Just a rotation of those dudes. But you said Van Der Esch been the worst guy. You think Van Der Esch been worse than Barr? You think Van Der Esch ain't as good as Brillo? Because I think there's a reason Brillo ain't been on the field, and the chat probably want to hear us talk about that a lot. So like you just think Van Der Esch just like all the trash?
Nah, he ain't all the trash. He actually played better than Barr so far. Barr had one good game, and that was the Cincinnati Bengals game, and then Father Time creeped up and stepped in. So I just look at it like now, hey, Anthony, we know that you can give us one more good one. So right now, use that bridge for Damone Clark. Cool. Have that seat. So let Damone Clark go through those growing pains. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, fair enough. Also, too, somebody in the chat box was like, "Vash, why was y'all late?" Because I put the poll up, letting just. I just want y'all to guess who was late.
It was me. I'm gonna take this.
Hey, look,
I'll be on.
I already snitched.
Shame. Shame.
It's usually you though.
It wasn't me,
sir.
I
It
was
was me
first.
this time. You know what I'm saying? It was me.
Mr. King said, snitch him.
First the King turned to Frank Lucas. Frank Lucas.
No,
with the glasses on.
He hit him with the Hogan. You know how when Hulk Hogan Hulk up and they hit him, he go, you.
Hey, look. Hey, what Dallas got to do to Micah?
That was JK doing. JK be like, there's him.
Snitch quick.
Call your media.
Snitch quick. What's up?
you've made a couple videos about our beloved Leighton Vander Esch. We ain't finna argue about it or nothing like that, but
no, ain't no need at this point.
Yeah, we ain't finna argue about it. But like, what's the state of the linebacker? I know you watch film and you've seen Clark come through and show his a couple of his bright spots and potentials and all that. How is Vander Esch played, and do we go back to Barr when Barr is healthy, or do we just run with Clark?
I mean, I think Vander Esch this year so far has played his best version of football. I think he's been playing a lot better. I was on his ass for the first half of the season, I won't front. But I think he's getting to the right spot at this point. I'm just having a problem with the way he finishes. He's not finishing as well as we would like him to.
Right.
But he's getting there. You know what I mean? Whereas you have other guys who, are getting there and finishing and making other people's plays for them as well. Like Vander Esch is not that guy. He's a guy that's going to plug his gap if he plugs it, but he's not going to finish. So is he a placeholder? You can't say that Barr's playing better when I think LVE has like better stats.
Right.
Barr's doing things off the camera that I like, and he's also getting wiped out by LVE a couple times, 2 per game. Probably why he hurt right now. LVE just runs into the backup.
He wiped out like 2 people in one play.
He did it like he do it a lot. Like, but I will say Barr is not making the type of plays that LV's making right now. So you gotta let LV play at least, and he knows where to be because he knows this defense. So I think that's why he's playing a little faster than Barr. I don't think Barr lost a step because Barr looked pretty good last year. He looked okay last year. I think Barr's problem is he's not in this. He hasn't been in this defense long enough to play fast. I think that's his problem. And the same thing goes for Damone Clark, but Damone Clark's younger and is obviously faster, more athletic, and so on. So I think once Barr comes back, I think Clark will be rotated in with Barr. I don't think LV is going to come off the field. That's not denoting what I want to happen. Yep. That's just what I think will happen. I want Cox to play. I think Cox might be having some setbacks with his knee. Maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know why, Clark would be in over Cox at this point. I got
another theory.
You know what I mean? Go ahead. What's the theory?
I just think Damone Clark has a better feel for the position.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong.
Or he could just be a little better. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what, Okoye? You know what Botch always says, not to cut you off. We don't know what's going on at the practice field, and I know I want to let Scott go, so I don't want to. But
no, that's facts. Like you don't know what's happening in practice, you don't know how that knee's holding up, and then beyond that, I look at Cox as more of it's a log jam for Cox because he's more of a. To me, I know we argued about this before, Scott, but he's more of a J-Ron replacement than a middle linebacker replacement. He's a guy that can line up against your tight end. Play will in your base formation, cover. And and slash and cover. Like he's that guy. He's not a guy when you say you struggling against the run, you're gonna go get Cox. So I think that's why he's not playing.
Now let me say this right quick before you go, Voch. Yeah. Before you go, I had a small conversation with Jabril Cox, and I asked him, "What do you see yourself?" And he said exactly what Koye said.
Wow.
he want that curse spot. He's a hybrid. He want that. He want that role. He sees himself as a big nickel guy. But go ahead, Bob. Yeah.
Hey man, it's all good, man. Voch, said some shit like that a couple round tables ago. You know what I'm saying? But let's just go. Now me and Will still talk about this all.
Skip Scott. Scott didn't give his thoughts on.
Hey man, let me.
Don't leave Sky out like that.
My bad.
Happy birthday too, Scott. What you turn like 40?
Happy birthday, Scott.
Yeah, 42, man. How are you?
48. How old are you now, bro?
First 48.
49.
You want to know how I am? I am
years old.
Did y'all get that? Years old. Did y'all get that?
Everybody think you like ancient, nigga.
Now, Fussy King Koye cutting me off. I'm a content king. I'm trying to segue Jones Will Still because I know a lot of his answers, and I just want to bring some things to y'all, through Will Still. Let the Lord use him. Now relax now. Now, Will Still, as far as this linebacker situation, right? We always talk about this, Will, because one thing I hate when I'm watching film, I don't like when Micah's at defensive end when run game things are happening. You understand what I'm saying? We would much rather him in the middle doing Mike things than to be defensive end on rundowns. He can go play DN on pass downs all he wants to, Will. So, Now, Will Still, let's just say for hypotheticals,
I know where you're going with that one.
let's just say for hypotheticals, Will, still that Micah does end up on these rundowns, and that could help us in rundowns. We'll talk about it one day. And I got another theory I just thought about. Like a whole. Okay, cool. Later, Will, still, do you think Micah Parsons moving back to Mike would make your other linebackers look better? While I write down this thought, talk to me about that, and including Van Der Esch in there. Go ahead.
Sure, man. Mike is that type of player, right? Like where he elevates everybody else around him. But my whole thing is with here I go, sound like one of the. My thing about Micah Parsons, I don't mind him playing defensive end if you're adequate at the linebacker spot, and I don't think we're quite there just yet. If you give me though Damone Clark in the middle, moving forward, then I don't care what you do with Micah, for real. I mean, to be honest with you, because I know this only one game, and y'all could smack my hand if y'all think I'm going too far here with this, but I saw a lot of good things in that game from Damone Clark. That if he just gets more reps, I think you got your middle linebacker for the future. And I thought it was going to be next year, but I think, like you said, Okoye, they should start rotating him in with Anthony Barr now. Get his feet wet now, so once we get to December and January, he can be your guy.
But Scott, like, what you think about this too, though? Like, Micah's longevity still, like, even though you don't care what he does because of Damone Clark, I feel like he has a longer shelf life at middle linebacker.
I agree.
Than that defensive end. When you watch, I'm watching like the way they shooting at his knees, the way they hit him, like they tearing his
I don't
ass
mean
up.
now.
I don't mean right now. Want him out there on third downs, put him on the outside. Other than that, he should probably be in the middle because he.
No, I mean in the future.
Let me flip it over. Hold on, real quick.
Go ahead. Hold on, real quick. I mean, Micah Parsons as a defensive end full time later down the road. If you got the linebackers to be able to do that, but I watched Micah Parsons make like 2 or 3 plays at linebacker on Sunday. That and I don't want to call nobody out, but I'm gonna call them out. That LVE and Anthony Barr wasn't gonna make.
Sure.
And it was in the run game, and that's why I'm like, if you play these run teams, I feel like you should put Micah Parsons there. But maybe their tune changes with Damone Clark. We'll see.
Time out, Law. One more thing, Scott. Let me ask you this, and then we can run around the panel here. I just wrote this down as I asked the last question because we content kings here. Do y'all think Micah has to play defensive end on these rundowns because Dante and Doran's not doing so good at it? Like, is that a thing? Y'all think so?
Dante doing so good at it as far versus the run.
Yeah, they'll hook the ends and get on the outside, pull a guard and a tackle, and the guard and tackles get on the corners and shit. I'm just asking y'all, do y'all think Micah's playing so much end on these rundowns because he's just so much better than Dante and Dorrance at? I'm just asking.
I mean, he's kind of like, when you run right at Micah, he's not doing much different than they're doing. I think, to be honest, the person who you can't run at, is 2 of them that you can't run at that's on defensive end.
Right.
D-Law and, believe it or not, Fowler.
Billy D.
When Fowler in there.
That's what I was going to say.
I was going to say Sam Williams, too.
He don't seem
Fowler
like Fowler is a problem for you.
He's doing well.
And D-Law, if you run at him, it's a problem. As long as he's not like shooting a B-gap against a running quarterback, he looks gold against the run. You know what I mean? It's DA on the back end.
Yeah.
DA on the back end. He doesn't keep contained almost ever. Like, he has no contained discipline pretty much at all.
Dorrance is bad. You know what?
Terrible.
For the life of me though, fellas, I don't know why they will not play Chauncey Ghost in that end. Like, I just don't like
he put on that weight. He's not as
big. Yeah, he's more of an inside guy.
In the run game though, right? Sure. Like if you just have to stack and you just have to press that tackle and stand him up, I don't see why they wouldn't. Yeah. Like just at least try it. You see what I'm saying? Because what's happening
Chauncey nasty out there though. I like that too.
He's nasty out there, but the drop off is so big between him and Dorrance and Fowler, so that's why they tend to do that.
It is Law. But my problem is, again, what Vosh said is Micah's getting chipped. He's getting hooked. He's getting reached.
He's getting red.
He's getting red. And those tackles, like Mailata, now what was crazy about last night, right? You saw Mailata couldn't even get in his kick step. But the way Philly was using him, they were just reaching Micah or kicking him and sending. He's seeing.
But it also felt like Philly was throwing a lot more in that game.
Yeah, they were.
Than they were against us.
Yesterday?
It felt like they were throwing a little bit more.
They were.
Yeah, they were.
They didn't test us on the outside at all when they played us.
How about this?
Philly went in and protect against us. They protected Jalen last night. I didn't really like their game plan last night, but that's a whole nother.
I mean, I could be wrong. They could have ran it 50 times, but it just felt like there was series where it was like Jalen had 12 or 13 pass reps on one series.
Yeah.
They didn't do that against the Cowboys.
No, they didn't do that.
Yeah, that was thinking
He was 15 for 25. Yeah, for
How about this,
150
gentlemen?
yards. Yeah.
How about this, gentlemen? We talking about the linebacker core and things of that nature. How much do you think moving on week 10 through 22, 23? What do you think Jonathan Hankins does for this linebacker core moving forward? We saw a damn good glimpse of his big ass in there. And listen, man, he one of them dudes, man. And look, he ain't the dude that he once was.
Right.
I know that for sure, because you know what I'm saying. We used to watch him,
You don't
right?
need to be. Yeah.
Exactly. Like you can't one-on-one them because they kept trying to get cute. Like it's a difference between comboing and double teaming, right?
Yeah.
Double
Right,
teaming is when
right.
just two people dedicated to you and we just gonna try to move you. Comboing, somebody comes off at some point. Watching the film last week, they kept trying to combo him. And when a human tried to come off the block linebacker, Jonathan Hankins went, bitch, and he went to go do his thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when it was constantly two bodies on him, you know, that's when our linebacker started. Clark made a fantastic play off of a Jonathan Hankins double team or whatnot. So, Will Steele, what have you seen from Hankins? Then we'll go to Law.
Everything y'all probably seen.
Yeah.
That I mean, let's just be honest. It's one game, but he's your best run defender, not named DeMarcus Lawrence in that front.
It's
On that
not
front.
even close.
Period.
Sure.
Yeah.
You see the difference. You see the veteran, you know, the savviness in him, the brute grown man strength. Not saying that Bohanna don't have that, but Bohanna's a second-year player.
Right.
He's a seasoned 10-year vet. You know what I'm saying? He got kids and families and probably got grandkids now. But seriously, he playing for something totally
You got
different. And he
grown man
play like
strength,
that.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so right, it's crazy because I was like, yo, I don't really want him playing no 30 snaps like that.
Yeah.
I was thinking more along the lines of like 12 to 15. I like to see him in there about 20 snaps a game.
Yeah.
Because he looked that good against it, man. He actually, when he was on the field, all that tomfoolery that they were doing wasn't going down. It was with him off the field. So I think he's your best, he's your best run defender. I don't care if it's Bohanna, Dorrance,
right on the head.
whoever
Yeah.
it is, man.
Scott.
Allow him to play either right over top of the center, I don't care what you do with him. He's going to affect the ground game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Law, so Law, what changes on this D line? You know, once because if Hank is gonna be the best, I mean, he got to get activated. You know, something gonna happen to somebody else. Like, what's the cause and effect here with Hankins playing well? You know,
Tristan Hill cut.
Well, they got to get rid of that light body Tristan Hill, and I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it now like even Gallimore is a big red
looking like they cut his
red dot on
cousins.
Gallimore now.
Time
You know,
out. Wait. Tristan Hill.
It's not funny.
I'm doing the wrong hand. I'm supposed to do his hand.
See ya.
They have gotten all my sons the hell up out of here. Connor Williams gone, Tristan Hill. All my kids just gone.
there you go, man. You still got CD though, man. You got CD Lamb. He
He's still here
on the
for a little
offensive
while.
side, you know.
He just start driving passes. He be all right.
See CD here, but they trying to kick him out. Tyler here and Tyron on the way. We'll talk about it later.
Yes, indeed, man.
Tyron on his way to being a swing tackle. Stop
Oh
playing.
my God! Hey, this Jonathan Hankins guy, man, he makes and it allows the linebackers to fly around freely. I just look at it like this. My visions of this would be this Harper guy. You know, I know he got the Achilles injury, a bruise, or what have you. But in the future, if you have Harper, then you have Damone and Micah. Man, that linebacker crew with that front like that, shoot.
Damn,
Them boy, that's speed. Brillo go, he can't find a spot.
Cut the shit out, Brillo. My God.
Hey, but you know what's crazy though, Law? If you just look at the eye test, right?
Right.
The same way that they did with Bland, and now Bland's doing it during the game.
Yeah.
It is Dan Brillo. Like, yeah, like Harper may be more physical than Brillo. Like, you hate it because we love Jabril Cox.
We do.
But like, there's something.
I don't know.
He's not a middle linebacker. Yeah, he's not a middle linebacker.
Yeah.
I think
He's a
Harper's
slasher for sure. I think he can
Right.
still, he will shoot gaps. He's not a guy that's going to take on
Detach
guys.
from the
He'll
box.
cut down.
Yeah.
He'll cut the pulling guard and he will shoot gaps.
Who's that, Okoye?
Cox. I think
Cox
can be effective against the
But
run,
Harper-
but he's not a
Harper
guy that's
is
going to take on a guard.
Har-
10
but I
times
think
out of
Harper
10.
I think Harper
kamikaze.
and Damone, Clark are middle linebackers.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
true.
facts.
Like
That's
Jabril Cox is not a middle linebacker. He's your traditional,
No.
a traditional will. If we were
Will.
playing like that traditional 4-3, he'd be like your Derek Brooks, right? Keep him clean and let him fly. Just let him
Yeah,
fly
fact.
around.
Will
And you know
linebacker.
what, Scott? To your point, we don't use like we really
use
have. Yeah, we don't use like wills because we just will
No,
walk.
you know how we
Dalton
use our
Wilson
backers,
down.
bro? We
Yeah.
use our backers like 3-4 inside linebackers.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what they
They're
are. Yeah.
both inside linebackers more often than like a will or what have you. Like you'll see
Yeah.
both of those dudes roaming in the middle handling situations. But
Yeah, that's because
yeah.
Curse is like our Will. That's why.
Yeah, facts.
Like,
Yeah,
Curse
yeah,
is the Will. Yeah. Or sometimes Wilson.
Dono.
Wilson,
Yeah.
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 So Koye, do you think that the addition of Jonathan Hankins kind of set down this, trickle down effect to boost this run game? Because if anything, if there's any impediment to Dallas Cowboys defense and anything that just got us like up at night about the SB word that Will still don't like me saying is run defense. You feel me? And I ain't saying we a bad run defense team, but if there's anything keeping us from just scaring people at night, it'll be the run defense because teams walking here like dog. Me and Will still laughed about this, right? The Bears, instead of passing the ball, they
ran 43 times.
They direct snapped it to David Montgomery, and he ran read option with
Justin Fields.
The running back caught the snap
Yeah, I saw that.
and red optioned with the quarterback. Like some teams would rather do because teams do not want to throw against us, right?
Right.
It's Justin
Right.
Hankins the piece, right, that can make teams try to throw the ball against us and really dig them in a hole offensively versus us.
100%. And then beyond that, the rotation, like Sky, my bad, touched on the rotation, the fact that he could be a rotational guy and about 20 snaps a game. But with the fact that whenever Bohannon would come off the field, we would get run on because Neville Gallimore and Osa together are not like stout. They're more of our pass rushing defensive tackles. You know what I'm saying? Even though Nev can play the run, but he's not a real one tech.
Yeah.
He's more like a Collins, a big 3-tech guy. He's not a one tech guy.
Shoot.
Yeah,
One gap.
He's not a one tech. So when they saw him out there, Chicago just did a good job. I don't think we have as much of a problem versus the run as people put on.
Right.
We were up early for the first time all season.
I
and
agree.
We started playing more pass coverage looks, and Chicago would see that. And you notice they didn't run on Hankins. Hankins didn't give up a lot of yards.
Right.
Neither did Bohanna. Whenever they saw Neville Gallimore and Osa out there or anybody small, when we had our small pass rush package out there, they took what the defense gave them and they ran the ball at us. But they did not run up the middle at all versus Hankins. Now, that's why I say, when you ask that question, can he solidify this defense? That's why I kept on speaking on the ends, because if DA and D-Law and Micah, whoever's out there on the end, if they can just play a little more boring on running downs, meaning don't try to make the play.
Yeah.
Just contain, force everything back inside, and they're going to do the rest. Don't try to make the play on the outside as a defensive end. And it's kind of hard to say that to D-Law because he's making his bread and butter is tackles for losses.
He's having a Pro Bowl season.
Yeah. D-Law, yeah.
But he needs to rein that in when we're playing running quarterback.
And he greedy.
Beat the Eagles.
Yeah.
We won't beat the Eagles if he keeps shooting the B gap versus a running quarterback.
Yeah.
If he could just play boring against those types of guys, he's going to get more sacks anyway. Because Fields, we would have sacked Fields a lot more if those guys would have just contained and waited. He would have ran right into you anyway because he couldn't throw the ball. It wasn't nowhere to throw the ball.
We keep it in the beam from the Bears game. They had 90 yards between the receiver and the quarterback scrambling, bro. 90.
Yeah.
And then they had a 36-yarder at the end of the game down by 20. So 120-something yards came on. I don't want to say meaningless because you got to contain the quarterback. But when teams have to like regularly run on the Cowboys, Koye and squad, it hasn't been as easy as you think. It's been with smoke and mirrors. It's been with, hey, let me get your eyes going this way. I'm going to go that way. Receivers going here, quarterbacks here. And not everybody has Justin Fields and Jalen Hurts to do that. And my final thing on this, you said, is Hankins the one to make teams throw on us? No. No.
Yeah.
You know who it is?
I know you're gonna say
Dak Prescott and Kellen Moore.
Ooh.
That
We're
is
gonna
who's
be
gonna
up.
make teams.
I can't wait to
We're
talk
gonna have
offense.
to
I
throw.
can't wait to talk offense. Right?
Yeah,
Hey, can
yeah.
I say something real quick?
Go ahead, Flips.
Real quick. Micah gets so many double teams and protection slid his way on
Everybody
passing downs.
is.
Most of the league.
What
Most of the
and
league. I
so
tweeted today. Most
to
of the league.
Okoye's point, I know people want to see us argue, but there had to be about 2 rushes where D-Law came free. Like, dog, nobody touched you, and he just didn't run his feet, come to balance, and Fields just ran around him.
Yeah.
So I
Because
think, like
he
you said,
took a hard angle.
Hard angle.
You just should have
Contain.
You look at this sack that you put up, Law, where Damone Clark was supposed to blitz off the edge. Then they spread out wide. He calls Curse in the blitz, right?
Yeah.
Look at the angle Curse took on that play. That's all D-Law had to do. Just take a wide angle. Because Fields is going to try to run, but if he runs, he's either got to run into you or he got to run inside. Either way, he gets nowhere.
But I would say this.
If Curse would have took a hard angle, he would have got outside of him too. It don't matter. D-Law just takes hard straight line angles through the beak at running quarterbacks. And he's got a great get off, but he can't change his direction. He is a tank for real. He can't change
said this, bro. Fields is a better athlete. Fields is a better athlete than Jalen Hurts.
Oh,
he's
100%.
a freak athlete, bro.
Yeah.
Go ahead and say he a tank for real. He can't change.
He can't change direction.
He can't.
No, hey, Coach AD said it.
He going fast in one direction. That's it. Yeah.
Go listen to the size of the sound line. He said, "Bring your feet, man. Like you coming, you trying to take him down, but practice. Do what we practice. Bring your feet. Come under control. And when you do that, you see what happens. Look at J-Ron Curse.
Because he's not fast enough to make that play just running. So I got one more defensive thing before we move into the offense. This don't need a long conversation because it's over with now. But I just kind of want to get a quick thought, and y'all jump in whenever you can, right? This week or the last week, Tristan Hill was inactive, right? My son, he was inactive, and that's because they were shopping him or whatever, and then he just gets waived or whatever, right? All right, cool, fine. Cool. The week before that, Neville Gallimore was inactive. Do y'all think we was shopping Neville or that he was in the conversation?
There was actually a report to that. They said they wanted to showcase Tristan Hill that week. Tristan Hill, and then they wanted to make sure he didn't get hurt the next week as they were shopping him.
That's trifling as hell. That is trifling as hell.
I read that same report, Scott. It was simply they had plans for Neville. They didn't have plans for Tristan.
He a 3-tech that played like a 1-tech. He did good, but he wasn't a guy that could keep taking on double teams. You know what I'm saying? But he was a 3-tech that they had, sort of like they got Nev, but Nev is just better at it.
Okay.
Yeah, this scheme is just – it's just funny because he's been in multiple schemes. But what Dan Quinn is asking these defensive tackles to do, Trish is going to give it his all, but it's really not designed for him. You need Tristan to get upfield. You need one gap. And what they're asking him to do is to take on doubles, to set up, be the crash man on these stunts and these games up front. And Tristan that's just not his game. But to be fair to Tristan, he wasn't having a bad season.
No, he wasn't.
Like he was making plays.
He played good.
Too many dudes in the room. That's it.
Yeah.
I remember, Vach, I had to give you crow about Tristan. Like, I'm not, and he was somebody who I was like, dog, why can't he get on the field? Why isn't he healthy? And he made plays, but it's tough.
I like Tristan since the year him and Dak got hurt that year. Like when he was taking on the double teams versus the Browns and got hurt. I think I heard in that game, right?
In Seattle's game, I believe, or something
that.
like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I liked him since that year though. Since 2020.
They were showcasing my boy just to put him on the chopping block.
Damn shame what they did to that dog.
All right, man. moving on. So Foots got me fucked up, man. So we gonna probably go at it a little bit. Before me and Foots go at it for real, I want to tap in with Koye, Law, and Sky quickly because me and Foots about to argue. But I just want to hear y'all's take quickly, just so I know what side of this y'all land on. Quickly, Law Nation. When 77 comes back, what do you do with 73? Quickly.
Keep him at left tackle. Sheesh. Man, damn.
Koye Media.
Yes, keep him at left tackle.
Koye Media. When 77 come back, what do you do with 73?
I mean, assuming that 77 is 100% or 80% in that range when he comes back.
Let's just say he's healthy 100%. Let's just say he's healthy 100%. What do you do with 73?
You put him at left. You put him at left guard because we're a better team that way. I think if you're doing, I'm listening to Stephen Jones on this one. If you're talking best 5, he got Tyron Smith got to be in your best 5. A healthy Tyron Smith on the bench, I can't deal with that. Especially when you're trying to win, you're always gonna have that question in the back of your mind.
Scott, when 77 come back healthy, what do you do with 73?
You bump him inside to left guard.
Okay, so cool. So we set the table here. It's me, Sky Okoye, on the side of put Tyler Smith at left guard. And
POP, hold it down for me, dog. Come on.
I
Come on,
promise
Foots.
Hey, I promise
I know you
got
ain't standing over there.
Come
bro.
on, baby.
I promise I got you.
Come on, baby.
You ain't ready for
Y'all
that.
go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit back and watch this one. Y'all go ahead.
Yeah, baby.
My turn.
I'm chilling.
So listen, and then also chat. I would love to get y'all answer while I smoke Flister King real quick. Chat box, listen. Let me just check the numbers real quick because y'all might need a war call. Okay, y'all do. All 735 of y'all right now. Listen, chat. When 77 comes back and he's healthy, what do you do with 73? Now, Flister King, I ain't even plan on having smoke with you, sir. But I just heard a little inkling come out your face a little bit ago. You said Tyron Smith finna go right back to swing tackle. I be damned, Flister King. I need you to explain yourself. Right, I need you to explain yourself right now, sir. What you mean?
On the bench, Slim.
What you mean?
Hey, Scott, put the vote up, man. Put the poll in the chat, man.
You on the bench. You on the bench.
Koye Media. Koye Media.
Hey, Law, Vosh, come on now.
Flister King. What you mean?
Poll time.
Let's see, they didn't see that, Okoye. I took it off the screen, so but we.
Flister King, sir. What you mean Tyron Smith finna be a swing tackle? What do you mean?
Tyron and his hurt body is going to the bench. He gonna sit next to Kellen Moore because guess what? Guess what? No, and I'm gonna tell y'all why it's gonna happen. I'm sick of you. I'm pointing at Okoye, and I'm sick of you.
It ain't gonna happen.
I told you, Vacho. I said, listen, Mr. Smith, Tyler Smith will be fine. He will be fine.
He's gotten worse every week, though.
Oh no. He's not gotten worse. The line is just playing really good. So if he has a rep where he's not great, we can't say that he's gotten worse. It's called we're finding things. Dog, look how many yards we're rushing for a game.
Ain't you trying to win the Super Bowl? Imagine the yards we get when he's at guard. Imagine the yards we get when he's at guard.
Can I finish my thought?
I'm sick of
let's mediate this thing here. Foots the King, you go ahead and we'll get Vacha here in a second.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Let me get back to my. Let me said he had smoke with me, and it's funny how now Koye want to listen to Stephen Jones. I'm so sick of y'all. Listen,
no, I'm just saying he makes sense.
I had to throw a jab at you. I had to throw a jab at you, Koye. Now,
yeah, he made sense on that one though. Like you got to think about it. Like,
in all seriousness,
you're not thinking. Youngin is balling. I'm not saying that he won't be the left tackle of his team at some point, but
one day.
Think about it, bro.
But
one day.
But
if you got any wheels or any tread left on tires, you gotta let them play.
Why? Why? Because if a tire that has bad tread, eventually is gonna pop. Why?
You gotta ask yourself this though: is Tyron playing bad when he plays? It's not the injuries. Fuck the injuries. Is he playing bad?
He's going to come back.
Get his ass, Koye. Get his ass.
Because I want to hear Voch. I don't think. We're going to play a stout defense in the playoffs, correct?
Yeah.
We need to run the football. Last year, I saw this team not be able to run the ball. Voch, you're an offensive lineman, and you're an offensive line guy. At the end of the day, offensive line is about continuity. I do not want to
Let me tell you something.
The playoffs. Listen, hold on, Voch.
Go ahead.
I do not want to, in the playoffs, okay, let's just change things. If Tyler Smith is learning on the fly and he's getting better and he's run blocking great.
Sure.
He's run blocking great.
Sure.
And you're going to need this run game in the playoffs. Why would you change that? Because we want to just throw Tyler Smith out there and he just lays down just in his kick step? No, absolutely not. Tyler Smith is your guy. You roll with him, stick with him, period.
So
I'm done.
I'm
done. Mic drop.
No. Pick your mic back up. You ain't done. So in the world of offensive line,
pick your mic back up like this.
In the world of offensive line,
you wanted Jason Peters. Keep it a buck. You talking about
Things
somebody who
happen,
been playing stinky?
we have gathered more information. First, watch this. There's one thing that's more important than continuity in offensive line. As an ex-offensive lineman and offensive line coach, everybody can say amen to this. One thing better than continuity is better dudes. Better dudes is much better than continuity, Fuster King, every single time. So you got to ask yourself this. And then look, Fuss, I understand what you're doing, man. The worst case scenario, I feel you. If you have the worst case scenario, we have what we call depth. If Tyron Smith go out there and it look like his leg don't work, you put Tyler back in left tackle and you good.
Right.
Tyler has proven that he can jump from, as long as he don't switch sides, he can go from guard to tackle because he's just that talented. He's that talented to be able to do it. So at the end of the day, Fuster King, you got to ask yourself, Fuster King, what's better, a healthy Tyron Smith or a healthy Connor McGovern? I will take Connor McGovern to the back of the shed like old Yeller and shoot him if I got a healthy Tyron Smith that's working. I'm putting Tyler at left guard, and goddamn it, we go to the Super Bowl, baby. That's what I'm saying to you, Fuster King. You want to run game? No, Fuster King, watch this, sir. Watch this, sir. I do offensive line rankings every single week, sir. You want to know who's constantly down at the bottom with Tyler Smith? With Tyler Smith, it's Connor McGovern. You mean to tell me I have an opportunity to upgrade Tyler Smith and Connor McGovern? Fuster King, are you kidding me?
And you making some great points, but can I ask
This
you a
run
question?
game gets better. Go ahead, sir.
And so does Tyler gets better.
And he
Because he
gets
can get out
better.
when he's not left on pass rush or pass protection responsibilities or outside responsibilities, he can pull more as a left guard than he can as left tackle.
You guys are making a point.
Go ahead, Fuzz. I apologize.
Go ahead, Foots. We jumped you.
Y'all are. But I'm fighting.
Dip on him, Vox.
I'm fighting them.
Kick him.
Listen, you guys are making a point.
It's a shame what they did to them.
Tyron.
Go ahead.
We can't. We keep saying the if. That if is a huge if, guys.
Sure.
Law. What? Law,
What's the huge if? What's the huge if?
The injury history, Scott. It's a big deal, bro.
So
it's a big deal.
It is, but here's the thing: if I'm asking Tyron to give me 4 and not 14, I'll take my chances.
Come on, Scott.
He can't even play this year. Scott, he couldn't play this year.
I'm asking for 4, not 14, though, right? But here, let me give you a caveat. Let me give you a caveat that makes this that really does make. I think it'll make Vach think. I think it'll make Okoye think, and it made me think. If we can get a Tyron Smith back, say, with 3 regular season games. You got 3 regular season games for Tyron Smith to ramp up, right? Yep. So you got a chance to see, okay, maybe we can mess around a little bit. Let's see what it looks like with Tyron and Tyler. Let's see what it looks like maybe with Tyron and Jason or whoever it may be, right? You can mess with some lineups. Yeah. But if he don't come back to like the last game of the year or playoffs, then that's when I might be with you. Right, then it's, you know what? You don't want to just throw him in there in the first playoff game with no reps and be like, just because he's Tyron Smith. No. So I do think there's one small caveat we got to pay attention to. When is Tyron Smith going to be ready?
Okay, Voch,
you do and then I go film. Next. Yeah.
Yeah, and then because they jumped me, but I want to ask you now. We're gonna talk scheme.
I got him, man. I got my boy, man.
Come on. It's been a good talk.
Great
We're talking scheme. We're talking injuries. This run game, what we've called for has been a lot of gap scheme and it's been a lot of GT counter, and you asking those guys to get on the move. Right. Do you? And I'm gonna ask you, Voch. That goes back to what Scott's saying. Do you feel comfortable with the Tyron Smith who's been on ice all year? Do you feel comfortable asking him to do those things? Because when we get these guys in space, that's when we're having our most success, to me.
So, first, all this is fair, right? All that's fair. But what the question was, because look, if Tyron Smith come back and he look terrible, you got a Tyler, you can put that left tackle. We're fine there. But what I'm saying, Tyron Smith, who's well rested, that motherfucker well rested. If he comes back, Foots, he ain't got to be demigod Tyron Smith. 80% of Tyron Smith is better than 100% Connor McGovern and Tyler Smith, to be fair. If Tyron is
Tyler gonna be a dog at some point.
Well,
fine. All we talking about is right now, Fuzz. If Tyron come back and he's even a shell of Tyron Smith is a dog, why don't you hang on to those 2 better dudes? Because Tyron and Tyler is better than Tyler and Connor. That's the easy.
I would agree there. Tyler is a great lineman, dog. Like Tyler Smith, and I'm so mad at Cowboys fans how they did him during the draft, but that's a whole nother conversation. Tyler Smith has came in and been everything we've asked for and more.
Vicious.
Like, can we let's do this, right, Sky? You've been watching this team for longest. Law, you the oldest on here.
The longest.
Was Tyron Smith this good?
Why they make you a grandfather, Lord? Like,
You got the granddaughter, you know.
Let's go back to Tyron's rookie year, and we didn't have the advanced stats
Look on YouTube,
PFF and all this.
What's on YouTube?
Was Tyron this good as a rookie?
Fight back.
Was he?
Don't worry about it. Go
was
ahead.
Tyron as good as a rookie?
No. He wasn't Foots. He wasn't Foots. He had to develop. But Foots, when Tyron Smith got there, who was it? Doug Free was there. And until Tyron developed, Doug Free, like he was the dude. You know what I mean?
I got his stats right here. His rookie year, he gave up 8 sacks, and that's at right tackle. Then he moved to left tackle. He gave up 3 sacks, but that's the only thing. So at left tackle, I'm trying to help you out, but here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. This is our only cry for hope right here, Foots. Meaning that would you like to mess up this thing? Because it's 4 more games. It's 4 weeks. He's out until he come back. So if we win all of these games, we'll be 11-2. So would you touch up that? Would you try to mess with that? Because it takes at least 1 game for Tyron Smith to get right back into the groove. You guys remember when he came back from his injury last year? His first game back was against the Raiders, and he didn't have his best performance against the Raiders, by the way. You guys remember that, right?
That's why we said if there's 3 games to ramp up, would you do it?
Yeah, he need ramp up here.
He gonna need ramp up. But do you touch it 11? If you're 11-2 at that point, do you mess around with it?
That's the question.
Because better dudes beat continuity every single time, in my opinion.
True.
And then look,
True.
Foots, man,
I disagree.
Foots the King.
Well,
Let me tell you something.
I don't know.
Foots King, let me tell you something.
You 100% disagree because we won 4 in a row with Cooper Rush, and Cooper Rush ain't out here. Is he?
Hey, but okay, now let me ask you this. Hold on, Scott. Now watch this. When Dak was hot and they wanted to put Tony back in, was Tony better than Dak at the time?
No.
Don't move off that square yet, Foots. Don't move off that square yet. Let's just hang it on.
You said he was
He's
not.
starting
Hold on.
shit.
You said Dak Prescott was better than Tony Romo when he was in 2016.
No, I said no, he wasn't.
So, but they didn't mess with it. That's my point.
You're right. The locker room also didn't want Tony.
But you also know you also know by the last film you put out there, and Tony last film was from the 2015 year, and they were like, we ain't finna mess up that. Cowboys was on a run.
One last point.
I didn't mean to switch the joint on you like
No,
that.
you good. One last point that I'm gonna ask Koye, because I don't even think I got a Koye point on this. Every time I look at the left guard position, dog, and look, man, Conor McGovern. I mean, look, he's had solid games the last couple of weeks or whatever, but they still try to rotate him with Justin Peters and shit. And then Justin Peters going there and he looked terrible. He be, getting his ass whooped and all that. So in my mind, dog, there's still conversation to be had at left guard. And look, you want to talk about lack of continuity? All right, just in the third drive, take Conor McGovern out and put Jason Peters in there. I don't care about continuity. I care about better dudes. And look, it ain't like Tyler Smith just, been gone, or like Tyler's been playing. He's been playing with these dudes. I think you can put Tyler wherever you want to because he's talented enough to do it.
Right.
Bro, put that move at left guard and watch him ball people. Go ahead, Will.
And to be fair, when we had this conversation before the season, we always said, hey, we got to put an asterisk next to the left guard. How is that position playing? Because that's going to play a factor into it. Because if the left guard's playing bad, you don't even think twice about it. But if the left guard's playing okay, you have to think a little bit. But if the left guard's playing exceptionally, you probably don't mess with it. But if the left guard can be upgraded, absolutely, because you're left, in my opinion, a healthy Tyron Smith. I don't even think this is a debate. A healthy Tyron Smith is better than Tyler Smith. So I just personally think Tyron Smith next to Tyler and Biotish is better than Tyler, McGovern, and Biotish. I don't even think that's debatable.
That's true.
Is that even debatable?
It's not. Koye Media, talk to us about your thoughts on the left tackle battle. Yo, Fush, you got smoked up, buddy. It's all good. Koye
No, I did not. Stop what you're doing. No, I'm gonna tell you why I didn't, bro. Continuity's a real thing, and he's always hurt. Okay, so you lay down on the turf.
He sit there and dodge.
I promise you, y'all.
But
I tried for you, Foots, man. I tried for it.
One last thing. If he goes down, you know what you do? Just put Tyler Smith back out.
There you go.
Or when he go down.
Right,
oh, man.
right.
Knuckles of wood, man. Shout out to my guy, man. My guy.
That's it.
That was a
Koye
low blow.
Media,
You don't get healthier as you get older at that position.
Koya, if there is a point that we haven't said about the left tackle battle pending Tyron Smith coming back healthy, sir, do you have a point that we haven't made? And Law Nation, after that, if there's anything left unsaid, y'all please clean this topic up.
Nah, man, you know, Foots
over that.
definitely like to start shit, and I think this is just like Foot starting shit. I know he believes this, shit, but I'm just saying. At the end of the day, you can't argue what Scott just said, which is Tyler, Tyler, and Biadasz is always going to be better than McGovern, Biadasz, and Tyler. Period. If Tyron can play, you know what I'm saying. So, but I get what you're saying. But you always do this though. Like, you'll be talking about the draft, right, for next year. You speak so far into the future because you're forward thinking. You're right going into next year. But you ain't right at the end of the season. You know what I'm saying?
So he just politely smoked me. I see what's going on.
Let's get Flames in the chat, baby.
Flames. Oh my gosh.
Everybody who ever with me, everybody who on my side, put some water on those flames.
Put some water in the chat, man.
Water chat to be dry as ain't nobody put no water.
Hey man,
Koya, put that water. I don't even want him taking.
I was thirsty, man.
Yeah.
But I do get what y'all said, man. But the old adage is that if they're close, you play the rookie. But at this point, like you said, Tyron and Tyler is better than Tyler and Connor. So if Connor McGovern is the weakest link, I'm trying to figure out a way to get him up out of there. So I just want to win. So if that's the situation,
I don't think McGovern playing like trash.
He only allowed one sack this year. Yeah. But he ain't better than Tyler. Although Tyler allowed 4 sacks so far this season. So
I don't care how many sacks Tyler allowed. He killed the opposition. He's gonna break everybody up on the other side of the ball. He might give up 5 sacks in the game, but everybody gonna be dead by the end of that motherfucker.
No doubt.
Let me say this. The reason why I go so hard for Tyler Smith is because we have the luxury of having a really good offensive line. So, chat box, you guys need to understand it's some bad offensive lines around the league right now.
Yes.
Really bad. Yeah. And, like, when you draft and you hit on these guys, like, that's my whole reason for going so hard for Tyler Smith, because I remember, I'm drafted to the fullest. So I remember when people were like, why would you do this? And now you're able to dictate how you want to play offense. So just keep that in mind. Like, to me, I don't know. I love the player. Like, I love Tyler Smith. I love what he brings to the team and the attitude.
We all agree there.
Yeah. But before you go into more details of it, if it's anybody that I want to see off the field is Anthony Brown, and I want to see KJ up in there, and that's Kelvin Joseph for
crazy.
those. I just want to get him. I just want to see him up off of there. Look, who's the most targeted? Who's the most targeted DB out there?
Go ahead, Long.
You helping his argument.
Who's the most targeted? All right. So who's the most targeted DB in the National Football League?
Tell him about himself.
All right, Koye. And all right, who allowed the most receptions in the National Football League? Who's the most caught on? Anthony Brown.
What are you saying?
All right, passer rated when targeted. Anthony Brown. He's second. This season. This dude got double-digit missed tackles. He got 10 missed tackles for the Saints. He missed tackles. Solely coverage. He allows 95.5 passer rating when targeted. I can already see Aaron Rodgers. He's going to attempt it. Yards giving up.
Yards giving up.
Now, I haven't looked at that stat yet.
You see this argument. The reason I don't argue this is because Diggs has given up more yards this year.
Oh shit.
You know that, right?
But Diggs, hold on. Is Diggs having a better season this year than he had last year?
I'm not arguing that. I'm saying to argue that AB is giving up too many yards is to shoot at Diggs.
You probably be the only Cowboy fan that's supporting Anthony Brown right now. Give me your research and analysis. You got to prove it with the film. Oh, come on now. Huh?
Every time we had...
Wait a minute.
Do this with me, every time we had this argument, I give y'all a breakdown. I prove my point. So I'm trying to tell you, man. AB this year, now AB overall career-wise, I see how...
Have we seen his ceiling? Have we seen his ceiling?
Yeah.
Okay, have we seen Kelvin Joseph's ceiling?
Kelvin Joseph is gonna get you beat though on the way to his ceiling.
Well, he gotta learn. He gotta learn.
No.
He's in his second. You gonna wait till his third year to play Kelvin Joseph?
Kelvin Joseph can sit his ass on the bench until somebody get hurt.
What about
AB?
Yeah.
AB's been tried. He was tried in that game. AB ain't gave up a big play this season at all. None. So the ratings that you're talking about are on 6-yard pass.
Man, you didn't see that play on Julio Jones or to AB. That play wasn't the pivotal play. And I know that's week 1.
Hold on. That's Julio Jones, though, right? You didn't just see.
That's
Wait, how many other plays did Julio Jones get stolen on this year?
No,
Hold
I'm
on.
just saying Julio
Yeah, I
Jones
don't
is
know,
a name.
Corey. He getting you, man.
Mooney
Corey,
and
he
Spills
getting
is not a name. You ain't seen
fine.
Mooney hit Diggs with that 7 route?
Did you see the aficionados get in the way? I would
see
rather
Diggs
for
20
I would
yards
rather
off
for
that
Diggs to give up 100 yards. At least I know that if he's the most targeted guy, at least he's going to give the ball back
But
to the
he's
offense.
I ain't say all
He's
that.
targeted more than Diggs.
No, I'm just
giving
kidding.
up less
Not 100 yards,
yards.
not 100.
That's a problem.
Hold on. Though. I got a question because I know Koye because Koye
He don't got his glasses.
Koye talking right
All
now.
day.
Hey, I did not see this fight coming. I like it.
I've been listening to Law, so I know Law been
Law
passionate about
tripping.
this one. But I'm not even sure I'm hearing this right. Are you saying that Anthony Brown is
Go
having
ahead,
a
do what you
better coverage year than Trayvon Diggs?
Let me hear you say it again.
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm
What
saying
you
is-
implying? What you implying?
he
What
had
you
a
implying
great-
there?
I don't understand what a bandwagon to get him off the team all of a sudden came from this season, because he's having a better year than he's ever had, in my opinion.
They been
This
trying to
season.
beat years. They was
Let me say where AB has given a lot of people
and
pause.
who you going to kick him off the team for? Kelvin Joseph ain't going to do it.
Deron Bland.
Bland is already playing, so
But I would
who else?
put him outside.
Me too.
Bland?
I will put him outside. But here's why. Here's where, and I'm with you from a
For
coverage
what?
standpoint.
It's not broken.
But listen, AB hasn't been
That's
terrible
fair.
from a coverage standpoint. Like he has not been, right? He hasn't been. But you know where he has been terrible at lately?
tackle him.
Tackling.
And who's the better tackler? Who's the better tackler, Scott?
I'd be damn.
I would say Deron Bland for sure.
Out of KJ and Anthony, I get down Brown.
Probably Kelvin
Usually
Joseph.
Anthony's a good tackler, though. That's why I don't look at Anthony like a guy that can't tackle. He's usually one of our most solid tackling corners.
He been
And
doing
what's
it
going
year, he's
on
having
with
a
him?
down
It's a
year.
contract year. He don't want to get hurt. What's going on with
Maybe.
him? Look,
But he usually rocking. You know what I mean? He usually be out there rocking.
it was literally a blessing in disguise when Jordan Lewis got hurt, and I'm not wishing for Jordan Lewis to be hurt or what have you for Dayron Bland. But I was thinking that if you slide Anthony Brown inside and kick Dayron Bland on the outside, he's physical, he's faster, and let's do that.
Can
I wouldn't argue with you on that.
Let me finish. Let me finish
Let
the
him
AB
finish,
tackling
yeah.
thing. The reason why I wanted to see AB kind of bounce back tackling, because his tackling issues, it's not like, oh, he just missed a tackle and he gets an extra yard. He's missing a tackle and is getting a first down. He's missing a tackle and you're getting into the goal line.
Bro, but listen, we got to take the
Corey
star
about to
goggles
get in his
off,
bag.
though, bro.
I ain't know how
I
we
got to
got
take the
home.
star goggles off. Because
Hold
you
on.
got to give everybody the same level of heat, man.
Hold up.
Because I've
Hold up,
seen,
though.
like, Diggs I love because he makes plays.
We
Right.
shouldn't
But
even
when-
compare him to Diggs. Bro. Like, this is-
I'm just saying, but when you talk about
I hate
tackling,
that.
they both have had that same issue this
Oh no! Diggs
Diggs
is tackled way better.
Wait.
He
a minute.
tackled better than he used to in 2 games.
He's
When
been a better
Diggs
tackler
also
this
jumped up.
When he get mad,
been
he's
a-
got-
When you get
He's been
mad,
a
there you
better-
go.
When he gets upset, he will tackle you.
When he get
Other than
mad,
that, he's not tackling shit. So if we talking about missed tackles, but listen, the same thing you look at, the same thing I say about LVE, same thing I'm gonna say about AB, same thing I say about anybody on this defense. We still got a better defense than we had before. We in top 5 with AB on the other side of that.
Right. But Okoye, I say this. Okoye, you're right.
Can't be giving up these big
when
ass
Diggs
plays.
get mad, he's trying to
Hold
jump
up, because I say this all the time, because we are diehard Cowboy fans and we analyze this team, so we're going to put a magnifying glass on everything, no matter if we was 8-0.
I'm like,
We'd
they
be talking
top
about
5 with AB on the
Let him
team.
finish.
this is true. We top 5 we top 5 with AB, we top 5 with LVE, all that stuff, right? But we're always looking at, hey, where can we possibly get better at?
True.
But here's the thing with AB. I'm not saying just flat out outright have to bench him. I'm saying let's see if we can get some competition in there and see if we can get better through competition, right?
Yeah.
With maybe
Yeah.
a Deron Bland out there. We saw Kelvin get a shot and he didn't step up to the plate, right?
Right.
But I do think that AB hasn't done enough to where it's like last year where you say, nah, AB's cool. I don't need to touch AB. I do think there's potential to get better
He was
out there.
playing worse last year, in my opinion.
AB.
He hasn't given up no big plays this year, except for the first game of the season.
I mean,
Hasn't given up
he got
big
2
plays. They went
big-
at him
big
3
runs,
times
big
last week
runs,
deep.
yeah.
Can I say one thing?
Runs.
And
My corners ain't my run stopper.
I mean, he gave up 2
Well,
touchdowns
tell
this year,
tell
but
that to Jeff Okuda then.
That's it.
Can I say one thing, y'all? Can I say
He the
one
only
thing?
one. Fucking vicious. He
Really
was about
quick? I think what happens, and this is to Okoye's point, but I want to hear y'all's thought on this. To Sky's point, that 2013 Seattle defense, when Richard Sherman was the headliner, who was the other corner on the other side of that?
Browner.
It was
Browner.
it wasn't Brown. It was Browner, but it was
Maxwell. Byron.
Byron Maxwell.
I'm pretty sure it was Browner. But.
Yeah, Browner at the time though
I
when they
think
won.
Browner might have been
Maxwell was a
2013, but
nickel
then Maxwell was
Browner first,
Maxwell was next.
Maxwell and
okay.
Lane was after that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when you're the other corner, to Okoye's point,
Yeah.
you get like
Tried more.
not only try more, but fans like, oh, he's never got the picks the Diggs get, and he get beat.
The Larry Brown to Dion.
Larry Brown versus Dion.
It's so-
Exactly.
it's so,
Kevin
like-
Smith.
Like,
You know
let's be
what I'm
honest. Let's be honest. Would Washington love to have Anthony Brown? Yes, they would.
Yep.
And so they would, bro. They just cut William Jackson. They gave him a bunch of
The
money.
third.
Like they would, Sky. I gotta give Okoye that. But this is one thing that I'm gonna eat some crow on. Kelvin Joseph running down on punts
Gunner.
was
He
like
vicious on that.
that was like that shows me that he does really still care about football. So
Yeah.
to Law's point, because my question with Joseph was, does he even like the game?
Right. True.
So that it's tricky, bro. This actually a really good argument.
You still don't know what you got out of Kevin Joseph. You know, that's just the bottom line. And my thing is, I don't want the Cowboys to paint this narrative and this picture like when they finally cut Kevin Joseph, they say, hey, it was because of the depths that we had. And that was the excuse that Jerry Jones just said this morning. Hey, man, we cut Tristan Hill because we had a lot of depths. And at least we got depths. No, I want to get something in return. We won't know who he is until year 3. Year 3? Come on, let's play the man now. Let's see what he got.
If we're being completely honest, if your second round pick doesn't get significant snaps till year 3, it's a disappointment without a doubt.
Big facts.
I wouldn't argue none of that. But the same argument y'all got for when I say why Cox ain't on the field, we don't know what's happening in practice. If Kelvin Joseph, see Bland is just got here. Bland on the field though, ain't he?
At nickel, they're not. But Kelvin's not treated as a nickel. But you're right. He's not beating out AB.
Kelvin was killing it in practice.
Right.
His ass would be on the field
Or camp, or I'm not camp, but preseason. You know?
anywhere.
Yeah.
If he was killing it anywhere, we would have seen him already because they keep trying to sneak him in there and give him opportunities like they did at the end of last year. He played okay in the end of last year, but he just like he is in real life. He has lapses in discipline, and he has that on the field too.
Actually, in last year, if he played like last year, like he did when he got the opportunity against the Bears, I don't think we're having this conversation. I thought Kelvin Joseph looked good in his opportunities last year. He just got scored on.
Yeah,
bro.
that
you can't get scored on against the Bears, man. Like that when you have that opportunity,
Your
like
first
seriously,
play out there.
Justin Fields to who was that?
I don't even know.
The dude from
number 8.
the dude from the Patriots. Like you gotta make that. You gotta make that play, and you can't listen. You can't judge him off of one play.
Yeah.
Like Law is saying, I gotta see. I want to see more. I gotta see him bounce back. But sometimes, if you only got X amount of opportunities, you got to take advantage of that opportunity. Look at Damone Clark. Damone Clark got in there and took advantage of his opportunity. Deron Bland got in there and took advantage of his opportunity. KJ didn't, and they went back with AB when he got healthy. I guarantee you, if he went in there and got a pick or something like that, might be having a different
AB would have
conversation.
still been sitting down.
might be having a little bit of a different conversation.
Well, I will say when we do these roundtables, a lot of the arguments are random and just out of nowhere. But it seemed like Lord Nation had this smoke for Okoye for a long time because we were talking about offense. We were doing offensive line.
He did that shit.
Well, Okoye, you need to play Kelvin Joseph and sit Anthony Brown, and this just came from nowhere. So man, Lord had that. There's no bad, man. We got like one more discussion / argument. We're gonna take a few questions and then we're gonna clock out. Let y'all go to bed, man. I gotta dry the natchez in the morning. Let me ask y'all this: do we have any arguments about the running back position since Cousin Tony went kind of crazy last week? Are there any discrepancies here?
It's exactly the same as before.
Right.
What are you saying, Corey?
I'm saying Tony did what he did with 14 carries, right? I think that's what he should be getting, 14, 15
Absolutely.
carries
I
a
would
game.
not argue with
And I
Okoye.
think Zeke should be getting about the same. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I don't got a problem with that.
I'm gonna
And
wait
then
till
whoever
Let me
got
say
the
this,
hot
man. Let me
hand.
say this. Let me say this, man, because I feel like everybody on the panel is kind of in the same that there should be both. Tony should get his carry, Zeke should get his. But should there be any change in how they're deployed? You know what I mean?
Oh, of course.
Because Zeke is main guy. Tony will get the third series or something. Tony then will come in and do his whatever,
Nope.
whatever. Should Tony be deployed first and then Zeke get his carries maybe when we're beating teams down towards the end, maybe? But like, should that first explosive drive, like that first 15 plays, should that be more of a Tony thing? Let's talk about deployment. That's a good
Well,
football word.
since-
Deployment of running backs. Go ahead, Koye.
You
We'll
want me to
start.
go first? Who going first?
Okay,
Me? I can go.
Koye, go first.
I can go first.
Okay, cool.
Deployment wise, I think since we was talking about Kellen and his play calling ability, you got to figure out a way to keep both of those guys on the field in the first place. Zeke can block for Tony. We could play a 2-back scheme. We could play a strong or weak scheme and still keep them on the field. Just like when you sneak an offensive lineman in the backfield, you can figure out how to get them on the field as fullbacks. Put Zeke on the field as a fullback, and defenses have to think about what you're actually doing because you can actually hand it off to either one of those guys when they're out there. So I think, yes, Tony should be out there early or featured early, but that doesn't mean Zeke shouldn't be on the field either. I think you can keep both those guys on the field and really wear the shit out of the defense out early doing that. But Zeke is more of a finisher. But the reason I don't want Zeke starting to run in like the second series or the second quarter is because he's a guy like that's attrition. Like he needs to build or wear on the team, and he's a tone setter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I want people aren't scared of Tony hitting them. They're scared of Tony scoring on them, and they just getting embarrassed. It's a poster.
Koye,
Zeke gonna smack you in the mouth. Like,
Koye, I'm
like,
sorry.
you
Don't
need
move
that
from that.
out
Don't
there.
move from that. Koye, because you just said something that just made me think for a second, right? Don't move on from that, right? So starting the drives, right? Starting the game. Should it be more so Tony getting a rhythm or Zeke setting the tone? Because whenever Tony's had an opportunity to get a rhythm, he does the shit that he does, right? And so what should be prioritized with this offense? We're gonna ask it to everybody also.
So Tony the same guy he always been. Like Tony's the guy, he might run six runs and get 4 or 5 yards each run.
Sure.
And then he'll hit a home run on the 7th.
Yeah.
He's gonna be that whether you start him in the first quarter or the third quarter. That's what he is. Like he's not a guy that's, he don't need a rhythm. Tony's gonna hit a home run. If you see a crack, he's gonna hit it. He got it. So I don't think he need to get in rhythm. You can give Tony the ball flat and he gonna do something with it if it's there. So I don't got a problem with. I don't think Tony needs to be set up for that. He's like a Christian McCaffrey or Kamara. You give him the ball, he gonna make a play if it's there to be made. And so I think Zeke is the guy that needs to get to set the tone for this team. I really do. With the way we play and how physical we want to be with the guys like Smith and Smith. You know what I mean? I think we're a more physical team with Zeke out there early on. And then Tony coming in after as a change of pace guy. I think that still works for us, man. And that's not because I like Zeke. I just really feel like that means something. You know what I mean? If you don't want to tackle in the third, fourth quarter, you don't want to tackle either one of those guys, that happens because Zeke has already been pounding on them early in the game. You know
I think this is a fantastic discussion right now. And look, Chet, can we please get Flame Chat? But I'm about to ask everybody. So let me ask you this, because in just my personal opinion, I might disagree with Koye for a little bit, because I think Zeke is the guy that can come in at any time of the game and be who he is, right? I think because I've seen Tony get kind of cold before, you know what I mean? But when Tony gets wrong, I could be wrong here, and y'all can feel free to, you know what I'm saying, prove me wrong with it. But I think when Tony get going, that's when like some of the bigger runs come in. So like if it's up to me, I feel comfortable, probably because Zeke is more reliable, I would say, to just put Zeke in on the 9th play, like, all right, Zeke, do your thing, right? Who I said? Sky. How should we deploy the running backs, and is there anything to setting the tone versus getting the rhythm?
I think they should deploy them like how they've been deploying them. So just give Tony Pollard at the very least 15 carries or 15 touches. I'm with the Koye on this one. Zeke is definitely more of a rhythm runner, and you can see it in how he has to feel the line, feel how these linebackers are playing, and it goes back to something I said last year. Tony doesn't need a lot. And when your offense is struggling or your offense is in a rut, you know the one dude that kept pulling the Cowboys out, Tony Pollard, on like 3 carries in the game. Go look at it against
Thank
the
you.
Kansas City.
That's what I was about to
Go
say. I
look-
just didn't want to cut you off because his yards last week, a 55-yarder, 30-something yarder, 20-something yarder. He had 131 yards, but three carries had 90% of that, 80% of that. You know what I mean?
Tony's the type of guy that if you give him an inch, he'll take him out.
There you go.
And whenever, and this is the thing about this offense this year. You don't have as many explosive weapons, or you don't have as many weapons as you had last year. Let's be honest, Michael Gallup isn't the Michael Gallup of 2019 or 2020, right? He's getting back to getting there, right? You don't have Amari Cooper. So you really don't have that explosiveness. Right. Who is your most, in my opinion, I think Okoye might have said this in your video, Tony Pollard's your most important piece, in my opinion. He's your most important piece because he gives you that explosiveness. And shout out to Skip Pete who said this. I don't want the juice. I don't want him to lose the juice if I'm giving him 25. I don't need to give Tony. I don't need to give 25 carries for what?
Sure. We agree.
I'm going to need both of these dudes. When you're a running team who relies on the run game, I need both of these guys in January and February. Yes, I'm saying February if you want to get there, as opposed to one or the other. And the way they're being deployed is fine to me. I just need TP to get a few more touches. And I'll put a cap on this. The one thing I want to see them do more often with Tony Pollard, I've been screaming for this for years, is get him involved in the passing game. That is something that is something that is honestly kind of malpractice if you ask me. But Tony Pollard should routinely finish in the top 6 or 7 in receptions and targets for running backs, especially when you don't have as many weapons on the outside.
That's how you get them on the field, though. When you say get both those guys on the field, those plays where we have CeeDee Lamb or Turpin doing those jet sweeps, you can put Tony right there. You can pass to him, run with him, run him deep. You can do all types of shit, and you got to pay attention to him. Yeah. I would do that more.
Mr. King, how should we deploy these running backs, and should one start over the other? Rhythm versus set and tone. What you think, sir?
Fellas, I think that you guys hit that. No. I think that you guys hit it on the head. Okay. I watched Philly last night. Mm-hmm. Did not want to tackle Dameon Pierce. They didn't want to tackle him. I'm talking about, I think what we forget about football, and this is what advanced stats have done to our game that bothers me. Football is still who's the more physical team, dog. That's why you have teams like Tennessee always make a deep playoff run. They're just a physical team. Yeah. And I don't like that us as a fan base puts Zeke versus Tony. I'm going to tell you right now, Tony don't want 25 carries a game. He should want it. His body isn't built for 25, 30 carries a game. It's a reason why Ezekiel Elliott, 225, was drafted as high as he was. Now, people can argue whatever you want. There has not been a running back who has taken the punishment that Ezekiel Elliott has taken and still has 2 games. And exactly, Okoye. So to me, you would do yourself a disservice by just getting rid of Zeke in this game, in this run game. The difference is, and what Scott said is, your quarterback is back now. So guess what? This run game and the touches and how we use them, and now Kellen Moore is finally understanding rhythm. He's finally understanding.
Yes. Oh, preach, preacher.
He's understanding usage. He's understanding, hey, man, take the 2s, take the 3s. The 7s will hit.
That's not Tony. That's Mike McCarthy now.
It might be.
That's McCarthy influences.
Hey, look,
why you coming out with different formations when you just ran that? Run the same formation.
I don't care how the result.
Never did that before this year.
I don't care how we got to the result, right? As long as we get there.
Yeah.
To cap it.
I feel you, Scott.
What they did on that play action on the first drive, Sky, where they went play action and just snuck Tony out in the flats, that's usage. That's beautiful. The linebacker,
that was nice.
Was nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
And Tony could, and so.
That sounds so simple, right? But if you go back and watch, Bob Sturm does this thing. It's called dissecting Linehan, or it used to be Linehan. Now it's dissecting Kellen Moore, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I forget what it's called, but I kind of do the same thing every week. I go back and I literally dissect the flow and the timing and see what happens with these plays.
Yeah.
If you look at week 1, when we did play action out of 12 personnel and did just a 2-man route, 9 times out of 10, the tight ends were staying in the block, or they were pat, then they'll release, right? The running back would do the same damn thing. over the last few weeks, you've been seeing a slight change here. After the play action, the running back is not sitting back there to block. He's going right out. And what that does for the quarterback, Dak specifically, okay, if that's not there right away, let me get this easy 8, 9, 10, and it turned into 16 yards.
Whew.
That wasn't happening earlier. It was play action, 2 guys in the route, everybody's patting and blocking or pretending to block, and then they release, and people get mad. Why Dak holding the ball? Because it's 2 dudes going out into 7, and nobody else is releasing. So there is a growth, I think, happening between, I don't know who it is, man. McCarthy, Kelly, I don't care who you want to call it, right? But there's some type of growth that's happening right now, and as long as they can continue to do that, and I don't know, I'm going off track, but that play, to me, small play, but little details like that matter moving forward, man.
No, that's facts, guy. You spot on.
Yeah.
The Law Nation.
Yes, man. Deploy it just like this. We shouldn't see a game of Tony Pollard with 4 touches or 5 touches. The Cowboys are undefeated when Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott get 10. So you got to figure out a way to utilize both of these guys. And Tony can do what Derrick Henry does in 15, and it takes Derrick Henry 30 attempts. Put that into mind. And then when we picked up Kevontae Turpin, right, I was banging on the table saying that, okay, this would be less CD Lamb on punt returns and also less Tony Pollard's on kickoff return. Low key, Tony Pollard is just as explosive, don't shank me with the butter knife, people, than Kevontae Turpin on kickoff returns. He's just that explosive. You know, so I look at it like this. It will be coaching malpractice if you only give Tony Pollard 4 touches. Utilize both of these guys. Ezekiel Elliott, I like what somebody said. Zeke is the sledgehammer. Tony is the sword. So you need both of those weapons in war. So utilize both of those tools, and I promise you, we'll be lifting up that Lombardi trophy at the end of the year if we stick to the formula. Run the ball, open up the pass, utilize Dak Prescott, because Dak Prescott is phenomenal. I said this, and all of the Eagles fans, y'all can lean forward just a little bit because y'all already know. I said this. They were crying till they rolled. I said this, just like the Chicago Bears scored 29, but we end up scoring 49. That would have been the score if Dak Prescott was playing against the Eagles. We would have put up 40 to 50 points on those boards. Yeah, they would have got theirs, but it's hard to stop Tony Pollard, Ezekiel Elliott, and everybody else that we have on this explosive offense, especially when Dak is in his bag, man. Come on.
Yeah.
One last thing that we're going to get
without Davis either.
One last thing that we're going to do before we clock out of here. We was having this conversation backstage or whatever, but just prior to the live stream, going or whatever. I want to give Mike McCarthy some credit, man. You know what I mean? Just us just go around just talking about him and what the next 12 or so games are, gonna look like for us. And I remember there was this press conference, right? Mike McCarthy went out there and everybody just wanted to ask questions about Cooper Rush. I was like, Mike McCarthy, how has Cooper Rush and done this and done this and done? Right. And you can see it on Mike McCarthy's face, man. He was like, well, I mean, shit, good coaching, motherfucker. You know what I mean? I mean, you can. I mean, you can say, Coop, how about coaching? You know what I mean? Like Mike be hearing all this, man. Clarence will go up there and try and fuck with him. Like, oh, well, Clarence said something nice today. Well, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, dog, like, there was this point where people were shitting on Mike. I was in there too. We were shitting on Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, own up, Botch.
Yo, Fush, you already on one today, man. I'm sorry. but we gotta give this dude some credit, dog. We gotta give this dude some credit. We was and this could just me being hyperbolic, Homer Vach. We was a top 10 team without Dak Prescott. You know what I'm saying? Because of our coaches, you know what I mean? And I think the first thing Mike McCarthy had to do was said, you know what? I'm firing my homeboy. If Law Nation was my defense coordinator, he was the worst one I've ever seen, they're going to fire both of us because I'm too loyal to do it. I wouldn't have fired him. How the hell But Mike McCarthy had to say, hey, man, this ain't, yo, secret handshake, Mike Nolan. Holla at you, you know what I mean? And Dan Quinn being the guy, and then for Mike to hold his pride down over the offseason when everybody was trying to give his job away. You know what I mean? I think we gotta show some love to Mike McCarthy, man. Will Steele, show some love to Mike McCarthy, man, before we clock out.
I said this to y'all behind stage. I said it last week. If the Cowboys have a special season, and they make that video montage, where before it was, hey, buy this DVD, buy this tape of your special season, right? And then in that tape, I think after week 1, when the Cowboys lost and they lost Dak Prescott, and on Monday they came out there and they're like, hey man, what's going on with this offense? Like, what's happening? What are you going to do? He said, yeah, this has been one of the most aggressive option route offenses that I've ever been in my life, and we're going to figure that out. We're going to revisit the play sheet. Me and Kellen, we got to be smarter. He didn't say me and Kellen. He said Kellen. We got to be smarter in how we do these and do these things here. And to his credit, I think you're seeing a different philosophy offensively because he's put his foot down. Maybe it's the pressure, maybe it's whatever. But that is having a trickle-down effect. And I'll give credit to, I think it was Boss who said this. Somebody said it. It feels like he's being more of a mentor to Kellen Moore this year.
Right. Yeah.
And you see Kellen Moore becoming a more rhythmic, as you said, Foots, play caller, game planner, whatever it may be. And so, I think Mike deserves a ton of credit because the previous regime was what, y'all, like 1-11 without Dak Prescott or Tony Romo?
Yeah.
1-11. And he won 4 games this year, 5 games if you count last year, and then 4 other games when he had Andy Dalton. Yeah, Mike McCarthy deserves some credit, man, and some love.
Law Nation.
Hey, man, in the chat, man, if you team Mike McCarthy, let me see MM in the chat because if you're not, then just put no or no MM. You know what I'm saying? But I'm team Mike McCarthy because Mike McCarthy just figure out ways, to either empower someone else, and then he sits back like he's the what's that guy off of Marvel? I guess Spider-Man, the guy that's the big kingpin. Yeah, he's like the kingpin. He's the kingpin.
That's what
DC.
Daredevil,
Yeah, the Daredevils, whatever.
That's Spider-Man.
That's Spider-Man. He's the kingpin, and he just sit back and he takes it. He takes it left and right, but he's doing his due diligence out there, and we see this. He tell the players, "Hey, go have fun, go with your wives, your loved ones, but we be ready." And I guarantee you, he's in the film room looking at Green Bay tape, and he's going to be able to figure out the flaws of Green Bay, and it's going to be another good game. So far, the Cowboys, the previous regime, we wouldn't be prepared for games and moments like this. Mike McCarthy is. Since 1995, we haven't had back-to-back playoff appearances like this. I know it was 2007, but I'm talking about being above 500s in the start. So this team is different. This vibe is different. I think Mike McCarthy, we going to the playoff this year because of his elements, his experience of the game. Think about this. I think it was 2011. They had 17 guys on the IR, the Green Bay Packers, and they went 15-1 that season. Mike McCarthy is built different, and I think that he's ready for this moment.
First, say something nice about Mike McCarthy.
Man, I'll just, the fact that he was able, because he did rein Kellen Moore in. You could tell.
Yeah.
But that's what a good head coach does. He didn't have to take play calling from him. So many of these guys, Sean McVay, trust me, Sean McVay wants to be out front. I don't think that Mike is that guy. He literally is about the team. He's about the guy. He's a Pittsburgh guy, a Sky. He's a hard-nosed guy. And I think that the biggest thing in coaching, players can tell a phony. And for J-Ron Curse to come out and say he's probably the best coach I've ever had, I'm going to just leave it right there.
He's not the only one, bro.
That's Henry Caldwell, so yeah.
I've heard multiple players come out and
really, Scott, I didn't know that.
A lot of players come out for Mike McCarthy, man. It ain't Mike McCarthy that's the issue in that organization. If there is one
not at
from
all.
a coaching, it's not him.
Yeah.
But I digress.
Koye, go ahead.
I mean, shameless plug. You can look up Mike McCarthy's a Okoye. You'll see exactly what I think of him. But no, seriously, I feel like he changed the culture here. You can see that. Not just Dan Quinn. I feel like Dan Quinn's brought a defensive mentality where everybody's competitive and getting after it.
Mm-hmm.
Mike McCarthy, to me, brings a professionalism to this team where everybody's like tuned in and a lot more locked into what we're doing. And I feel like as you guys said earlier, that when Kellen Moore early in the season, the first game of the season, when we didn't really look that good, I think that you can see his fingerprint not in the scheme because he didn't know the playbook, so he couldn't take over the plays. Even if he wanted to, he couldn't. He doesn't know them, but because it's not his offense. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you can see more continuity in Kellen Moore since that game, even in the running game, from formation, so on. Kellen used to come out with one series. He'll show you something exotic that he just came up with that week, maybe, and then you never see it again.
We'll see it for 10 weeks, Okoye.
It might have worked. He'll never do it again. Last week you saw he had the tight end trips left. Right, and he ran that the whole series.
Bro, he ran that 003 the whole way down.
Yeah, and then he kept switching things up. Even his reverses finally worked, and he built off the reverse when he did that reverse with Turpin and so on. So I think that Mike McCarthy's definitely working, like you said, Boss said, more of a mentor to Kellen. Hats go off to him for that. And like I said, he keeps this team calm. During the COVID year, I think he did a good job of keeping us reined in and calm, even though we didn't do well that year because of our defensive coordinator. But no matter what happens with this team, one thing that everybody says about him, like, he's steady. He don't change. He's the same guy, and he keeps us prepared on the same level every time we step out there. So I think you got to give us credit for that.
Hey, Okoye, that's a great example of Mike just maybe saying, hey, Kellen, instead of running a triple reverse where you hand it off and he get it, why not just send him in that orbit motion? Because that's all it was. Turpin just came in that orbit motion and he just pitched him the ball.
It was a toss. It wasn't even a reverse.
You're right, facts. But let's just get him in space. You're attacking the same area, but let's hit it fast and let's make it make more sense. So that's dope. That's facts.
One word answers. Then we're going to clock out. No long talk. One word answer.
Got you.
At the end of the season, Mike McCarthy wins the SB word because Will still won't let me say the SB word.
You saying SB? You might as well say Super Bowl.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. If we have to choose between McCarthy and Dan Quinn, one word answer.
Oh, you mother!
If he wins the Super Bowl,
if Mike McCarthy wins the Super Bowl, we got to pick out of Mike McCarthy, Dan Quinn. Law,
he can't lose. He win the Super Bowl. You gotta, you
gotta stay. I'm gonna have to pick Mike McCarthy.
Foots.
Mike McCarthy.
Scott.
McCarthy.
Koye.
Same.
I love Dan Quinn. Goddamn, but you win the Super Bowl, man. You got to, man.
Yeah, you got to.
I mean,
Jerry. Jerry.
He fired Jimmy after winning the Super Bowl.
I'll put a statue of Mike McCarthy right beside Sky Mirror, man. If we win a Super Bowl, we're gonna have a long.
He won a Super Bowl, Dan gone anyway.
What are we doing? Yeah, right. I'm not firing him. Nah, man.
He gone. This whole staff might be gone.
Hey, Joe Witt. Don't forget nothing. Keep that binder.
Hey, we get draft picks now if those boys go to another team and be a head coach. Joe Witt Jr., Al Harris, all of those boys. We get draft picks now. Y'all know about that minority rule. Come on. So let's go.
Vosh acting like he got to leave. I thought we was going for 3 hours. But look, I want to say this. Why don't we talk about Al Harris?
Before you go to Al Harris,
Joe
I will
Witt
say this about Mike McCarthy. He does have to prove it when we get to these playoffs because they were not prepared last year. Yeah. They weren't prepared.
They were nervous.
So we're giving him love right now. But once we get to these playoffs, we need to see that kind of not be what we saw last year. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. All right, Foot said something about Al Harris, but I got to drive the Nation, so he gonna go live on Cowboy Nation TV and talk about all this.
I stayed awake his whole live stream.
Hey, listen, chat. We love y'all to pieces, man. Let me work all y'all, man. We love y'all for coming through, tapping in with us. I said earlier when it was only 200 people, now it's 700. The reason that we keep doing these because there has never been a round table that y'all hadn't showed up for. So I appreciate y'all for everybody watching over here on Law's channel. For everybody that's gonna watch this when Foots and Koye and Will still, if they pull something from this and put it up on their channels, we appreciate you, and everybody on this panel. Love y'all to pieces, man. Y'all know I got you in the group chat and we talking real life and all that, you know what I mean? And if anybody put hands on either one of y'all, me and Koye got something for them, you feel me?
You already know. They don't want me to flip my mattress over. It's
not that Taekwondo, that straight nigga.
That's what Taekwondo. Throwing darts at him. Yeah.
With that being said, Brother Brad, tell the good people where to find you, sir.
Cowboys Nation TV. at Foots the King. I'm the most hated person in Philly right now on Twitter.
That's good.
So
No, you ain't. I'm talking about real life.
Koye Media.
About the Koye in Philly, like.
Yeah, Koye Media. Tell the good people where to find you, sir.
AKOYE Media, man, on YouTube. Y'all can check me out on Twitter too. If you check me out on IG, just don't Kyrie me. You know what I'm saying? Don't cancel me.
Oh no,
I talk crazy on there.
Yo,
But
Koye do his thing, man.
yeah, I'm wild on that. But yeah, follow me there, and I'm starting to get into TikTok too a little bit. I'll be sharing from there. So like, yeah, enjoy the ride. I will be, because we got a little bye week. Y'all will be getting a lot of content this week. So let's get it.
That's good.
All right. My guy.
Big Willie, my game is grown. Prefer you call me William.
Tell the good people where to find you, sir.
You can find me on Twitter at Skywalker Still. A to Z Sports Dallas on YouTube Monday through Friday, 8:30-ish. And then 3-ish Mafia on the Volume. Shout out to the Volume, the Vosh Lombardi live show. You can see me passenger side shotgun with my guy Vosh Lombardi, man.
My OG.
Yeah.
A lot of people have OGs and old heads, man, but Law is mine. Brother Law, tell the good people. They should know where to find you. Go ahead, Law. Tell the good people where to find you.
LawNationSports.com, and as well as Law Nation Sports on multiple outlets, man. I really appreciate you guys so much for having me. And yeah, I'm on TikTok too, man. Hey, TikTok is funny, man. Koye, it's nice. It's nice.
It's funny, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
Hey, everybody watching right now, if you're not subbed to Law Nation, let's get him to 100,000, man. He's close.
let's go, Law.
Party when we get to
100.
95. Y'all know why. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on, party. It's going to be a party when we get to 95.
Let's get him to 100,000, please. That's for the community. You feel me? And I am Vach, Lombardicus Prime. Appreciate y'all.
Hey, wait, real quick. Shout out to Vosh, man.
Shout out
Can
to
we all
him, man.
just shout out to Vosh, man.
Shout out to him, man.
For pushing this jump. He doing his
Yeah.
thing on the volume and
You
all
already
that.
know.
Vosh, you a hard working dude, bro.
Yes,
Shout out to
indeed,
you,
man. Round of applause for Voch, man.
Nah, he got to get the
Oh, yeah, that
clean
bomb.
bomb.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man.
I'm DeMarco. Marco.
Get done. Let me hit that done. Yeah. And me and him from the same hometown, man. And trust me, this dude right here, Voch Lombardi, hey, they should make a street name out after him, man, because this dude been doing his thing and he been representing, and I'm really proud of you, little bro. Keep doing it, keep grinding.
Thanks.
Hey, never let up and never change who you are. Continue to do those things, man. I promise you, the whole city of Natchez is looking at you right now.
And y'all about
That's the biggest thing I think you did, man. Like knowing you before and knowing you now. Like you ain't. I wouldn't know
Ain't
you.
changed.
Was
He ain't changed. Dude's still the same.
In fact, he told the Volume, you ain't if you ain't taking Voch, we can't go.
Bro, he really has not changed,
go.
bro. Like that's my guy, man.
Man, appreciate y'all, man. The kind words that mean the world to me. We got a lot of work to do still. You know what I mean? We all passing kind words along to each other. And, you know, I can say confidently that we're the best in this space. You know, those at this table here. But we are all focused on continue to grow and man, smoke this thing, man. You know, I said a long time ago, relatively long time ago, and then I said it again. We don't have to go mainstream because mainstream will eventually come to us. If you know, we just remain steadfast what we believe in, we'll be good to go. And if I could just, you know, be a little bit of evidence and inspiration to anybody, you know what I mean, then we doing some good things, you know what I mean? So hey, keep on grinding, keep putting out good work, because you never know who's watching your work. I had no clue that anybody was looking at Voch Lombardi, you feel me? So just if ever y'all do something, you never know who's gonna be writing you a check one day. So just put out your best product, all right? And my best products will be on Voch Lombardi on YouTube and on the Volume at 306 Central. All right, y'all hold it down. Boy, we're still so good at this. God damn it, y'all
Really is, bro. We'll do it.
Peep that
They will.
perfect time.
They will.
He don't even look like he's doing that. He's just chilling.
Sliding in like a wet flow. Already fried from the get-go. Alligators look like gecko. Everything I do, they echo. Big facts, my bank on big man. My drip too wet, that spit can. Yo, swap me like Q-tips. Hold that there like dip can. No rehearse, need no reverb. Hold your lip, don't say 3 words. Quick trip to get that lick. Broad tree fur if you pre